Yeah, and some interesting stuff with the draft here as well, right, KP?
Hmm.
Beasty being able to snag Mongols here is pretty interesting that Kiljardi left that open. And then on the other side, um, leaving Japanese for Kiljardi. So could be interesting if we get to I don't know where would he even put Japan? I'm not sure. Maybe he doesn't use it in this draft. But he has a Bassett as well. Prioritizing a Bassett here is interesting. By Kiljardi, considering so many people considering it so weak at the time.
He really likes
At the
Abbasids,
time.
which is surprising considering
Yeah.
his playstyle. Like Abbasids is seen as a more complacent civ, not the way he
Mhm.
plays it. Um, I would say honestly, like when I looked at these drafts, I felt like Kiljardi got the better side of the draft. Actually, Malians counter English, Delhi get countered really hard by Japanese, and Ibids perform quite well even up against the Mongol pressure that we've been seeing. In fact, Ibids have been annihilating Mongols recently, but
Hmm.
this completely warps the draft. The opening game being on Lipany and the fact that Kiljardi didn't choose the Japanese. I'm not even kidding when I say they're favored. They're like 65, 70% favored because their fast castle builds are just impenetrable. Their long feudal play just feels better than Delhi. So the fact that Beastie kicks off this series by forcing the Malian up against Delhi completely disorients the draft because now you don't have Malians for the
Right.
English pick, right? You now don't have Japanese against the Civ they would counter best here. All of a sudden, Kiljardi goes from being ahead in the draft to being behind.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be tricky against a player of Beastie's caliber, right? For anyone, right? Let alone, it's just going to be a tricky game. I think we'll see though. The Alalu King, can he beat Malians here? We'll see. We'll see. Kiljardi. We'll see what build he brings, like what style he does. If it's just kind of the classic Malian style, I think we've seen a lot of that recently in the past, couple months. The championship in the winter we saw really how Malians were played to their like best. So we'll see how it goes here.
Well, let's see if he's going to be a Fulani boy, if he's got some way of mountain pressure against the Feudal Kings that is a Delhi. We're going to have Kiljardi versus Beastie. Best of three. We kick off here in Lipany. And Beastie, with this opening Delhi pick, has already flipped what should have been a favored draft for Kiljardi. It's now a very questionable one.
Yeah, and the first thing I like to do when I look at Malians is like, where are their gold mines, right? Because sometimes it can be better than others. Here, this is okay, but it's tricky for them to play like the Danso Jav style when their gold mines aren't close to each other. Um, because then you're really spread and you have to kind of like constantly run between the two of them if they're being pressured. So this
Yeah.
could be tricky, but the north one seems like it could be walled pretty easily. That's also where the hunt is, so we'll see if Kiljardi kind of plays towards that side of his map anyways.
Now, there is an interesting iteration in Malian gameplay at the moment that has proven pretty impactful. And that's to actually go Sofa and Feudal Age. I'm wondering if that's where
Right.
Kiljardi's going to lean here, because if you go for the Donzo Javs, the problem is you can't, you have to come out, right? You can't just stay at home,
Right.
because Delhi will take Sacred Sites, then they'll tech up. However, what Delhi also tend to do is go pretty hard into the idea of Ghazi plus Archer, because they can take that fight in the mid-map. If you get Sofa, Sofa beats both of those. They've just got a great way of exchanging, especially the fact that you're able to keep affording it due to the ranch escalation. So I think that's what I'm going to keep an eye out for here. For Beastie, it should be pretty kind of like standard day in the office for Delhi, right? Just move
Yeah.
out, secure the central sacred site. One big thing we see a lot of these players do with Delhi on Lipany is they tend to wall the central sacred site because it divides the map entirely, right? And then you have a quick route to go north and south, but your opponent has to take the long way around.
I see. So just like wall it in small, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can wall
Yeah.
between the cliffs. Like this one's a little bit less desirable because there's some gaps in the cliff, but like you
It's
could wall
tricky. Yeah.
between, on the south side, you could wall between the cliff side on the south and north, and then just a straight line like that. Although it wouldn't fully surround the sacred site in the center, what it would do is it would guarantee that Kiljardi has to spend double the time going around it.
Yeah, just getting that rotational advantage makes a lot of sense. That's a smart adaptation. We'll see if BC goes for it this game.
Sheep Hall
Interesting.
looking decent for Kiljardi. It's always interesting when you have like Delhi in this matchup, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, BC went for a wider arc. Typically, when you play Berry Civs, you cover 2/3 of the map before you come home, and it means you tend to get a little bit more sheep. You don't really need the sheep here as much as you need to take it away from the Malian player, which of course would force him to add in additional cow for eating.
Yep. PUV in the back, nothing too surprising there.
Wow, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Dome of the Faith, right? But we'll see.
I've seen a few players do it, and the only reason is like when you're up against an unbeatable feudal build. So, I said Japanese beats Delhi earlier. The iteration Delhi have been going into to try and solve that is like Dome of Faith into Castle Age. not really there yet, in my opinion. I think it's like...
But try to just like have enough time for your techs by having a lot of scholars. Is that the idea?
Yeah, but the problem of like going with that type of build and going for fast castle with this civ that I don't like is when you go fast castle, you can't go compound defender because you don't have enough eco units to then go into stone, right? So if you don't play long feudal, you don't have any advantage and you don't have the eco spread to then get into the castles. So like what ends up happening is you go Dome of Faith and House of Learning. And like in some civ matchups, that just feels terrible because if you had Tower of Victory, you could spam Men at Arms and get double value. But because you've gone Dome of Faith, you're missing a very vital 20% increase attack speed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a very important building, I feel like, the TOV at this stage for the Delhi and how they play.
Yeah, it feels a little bit oppressive, but also at the same time, like as a Delhi player, I feel like you look and you don't feel like you have an alternative option, right? Unless you're on, say, like a water map. But when do we ever see Delhi on water maps? And why?
And why? You question the sanity of the player, I guess.
It's like you just get in the lobby and the first person your opponent says is misclick question mark, you know you messed up.
We'll see, though. Was already getting everything sorted. I wonder what he's going for here. He canceled the mining camp that he was placing. So maybe changing his mind a bit about things. Going for the range fast here. Yeah. Interesting.
I like this. I think you just need a few jabs to begin with. You're going to end up adding in Donzos, right? Anytime the Delhi player doesn't get forced to change his opening, like if he gets what he wants, it's always Ghazi. Like without failure. I can't think of a single game where unless you force a Delhi player to go Archer first to counter spears, he will not go stables. So once again, it's going to be stables.
Yep. So Archer, we're going to see Javs starting. Yeah, Javs into Donso. Yep. Just get a couple Javs out. They're so good at defending with their long range and the damage. So it's really nice when you just need to like camp the TC. You get decent pick damage, just chipping away at the HP on the Ghazis. And it can add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and Ghazi can't dive you yet, right? They need to wait until Blacksmiths, which is going to be a few minutes away, right? The Blacksmiths will probably be dropped in the next minute and a half, and then Undermesh is going to take 3 minutes, 3.5. So, like, You're not in a position to dive under that TC for several minutes. So, I like the fact that Kiljardi didn't drop that mining camp. There was no rush, right? And I respect the fact that he ID'd that, and then only went on it after he got the archery range up.
Yeah, it's smart. Get the Javs out fast, and then just chill. I think this makes sense. Timing's coming in for Delhi. So Beasty's probably pretty comfortable here. Oh, might even get a little damage here. No early textiles for Malians yet. Don't want to spend the gold on it.
And the first Donzo's on the way. So, like, you have a small window to, like, wallop them here.
Oh. This chip damage will add up if the Scold gets pressured again. In fact, that Vil is almost going down. Holy.
The problem is you have no way of healing this. Yeah, you have no way of healing this, right? So all this is now permanent damage to you, and you keep cycling out villages, but, you know, that's idle time walking back and forth. That's also vulnerabilities later on. The Javelin's overextending here from Kiljardi. Beasty's going to get a freebie.
Yeah, the Donso just weren't there yet. And more pressure onto the gold mine. That one Ghazi is quite low. Might see it return home for some healing.
I'm wondering what the logic was opening Javelin. Like, maybe Kiljardi thought he could just tickle away at the opening Ghazi. Versus Donzo. Like, if you know your opponent's always going to open stables, which they're Delhi, they're going to, right? Like, you'd expect to see Donzo first. But he kind of tries a weird approach, and I think we're seeing exactly why it's usually not a great idea. This pressure's hurting.
Yeah, the gold is just not protected enough by these Donso. By the limited number of Donso, right? Like, there's just not enough there to do it. And we see Beasty going home with several hurt Ghazi. And these are just going to heal up. You saw him just pop out the Scholar. This is massive play for him. This is really, really important because that's going to mean this little advantage is going to snowball in the next big engagement. We're going to see Beasty with like 5 more units or 4 more units than Kiljardi might have been expecting. And I think that's going to really matter in just a moment or so.
And we see why Ghazi are so absurd, right? Like, if you think about standard Horsemen, the extra 15 health difference is death. Right? It just allows you to hang around for an extra hit, whereas with Horsemen, you'd have to pull away earlier. Also, the other thing that's kind of insane is when you look at the DPS charts, realistically, Horsemen and Ghazi shouldn't be too far apart, right? It's 12 versus 9 damage, but it's 1.75 versus 2 seconds. Whenever you're talking about moving targets, the attack speed doesn't matter as much, right? Because it usually takes you so long to get back on top that a slower attack speed doesn't hurt. That's why Ghazi just looks so unstoppable in every game we see them.
Yeah, it's just so solid, and Another Vil getting picked out, and we talked about this at the start, right? When the gold mines are split like this, we see Danso Jav is actually a lot weaker than when the mines are on top of each other, because Danso Jav generally starts quite defensive until the numbers add up, and you start like cattle booming behind it, then your eco really kicks in as Malians. But we're gonna see this split focus is, okay, you want this gold mine and this gold mine on either side. You have to pick which one to defend, or defend both of them with half. And we're going to see Beasty is going to try and pick this off. He's going to keep pressuring left, right, and force the Malian army to be really split. And that feels so uncomfortable and like gritty when you're in this position as Malians. Is we're going to see another really good pick here. It's just so. It's so hard to do this, right?
It's the extra HP, right? And it's like the other thing that I love that Beasty done here is when he captured those sacred sites. You mentioned the injured Ghazi earlier. He sent them to the individual sites, right? So he didn't waste time with scholars sitting at home not researching. He literally just sat them there to guard if one unit came out, but then also heal all the damage off. It's like this is the thing about Delhi that it almost feels like we're at a point where maybe a rework is needed in that they play so cleanly. I don't want to say anything has fundamentally changed about the execution of this build in like a year, and it's still able to bully so many civs, especially when you play on free sacred site maps like Lipany. Oh god, another pick.
I don't think it's going to be a kill here, unless he dives
it
it
is.
easy.
He can dive this. Like,
okay, no, I lied.
And now you can just go north,
oh, but
right?
some pain for it.
I feel like you should just go north here, but BC has got enough time to go around the west. Obviously, we have gold vision, he doesn't, right? But 3 sacred sites are now locked in. Like, the gold lead is insane in this game. Beasty's already 2 eco up. I think the thing that's just so infuriating as well is, like, you have to keep building like this. If you don't spam Donzos and Javelins, there's a really tilting thing that Delhi can do to ruin your game, which is they would walk over to your second pit mine and wall it. And then you just lose because you don't have eco escalation. I've literally watched Beasty do it. Dismantle players on Dry Arabia before. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
Like when you add in the sacred sites, the production speed with the skulls inside, and the fact they can build walls, you start to fully understand why the Delhi seemed so unanswerable in AoE 4.
Yeah, like, and you know it feels good, right? We watched B playing Delhi earlier on Bridges, and he wasn't even able to ever really get a bunch of sacred sites running. And here we see Beasty with like the ideal setup. He's got a timer, timer that literally says in 9 minutes I win the game, and during that he's snowballing a lead economically as well. So it's sort of like this is a lot of pressure on Kiljardi at this stage to figure something out. As just more and more pressure mounting up, the numbers are really looking good for Beasty. 6 more mil on the field, and a Villa lead. Oof.
And now, because you're playing full infantry, what does your opponent do? He goes out on all the pocket ecos. He's never going to be behind, right? Like, you know, I forgot to mention the other absurd thing. Remember, Delhi, 35% increased gathering speed off of berries. Like, it all just adds up, right? It even competes with the cows. Now, what I was looking for is in the next 2 or 3 minutes, Kiljardi adding in stables. There is still an opportunity, right? This looks grim, but there is a way you can kind of claw this one back, and it's on the cattle in the ranches that let you get into your own calf.
Yeah. Getting the cattle boom going and then trying to hit Castle Age maybe could be the play.
Not even castle. Like, I think if you rush castle, you die, right? But like, if you...
Not a lot of cattle.
Yeah, but like, well, the thing is with all this cattle, like, would you rather have 1,800 resources going into a tech up, or would you rather have that going into an uncounted unit for the fight, right?
Is it uncountered? It's armored, right?
Yeah, but it's like +2. It's +2 damage, and Sofa hit harder and faster.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
It's one of those weird, like, I've been there with you, right? Like, I'm like, oh, Ghazi get bonus damage against heavy. It's like, it's not bad, but it's a soft counter. It's not fundamentally that impressive. This is, though, dude. He baits him out in the sacred site. The moment he goes out, the Ghazi go in.
Yep, and they pressure the other side of the map, right? The other pit mine gets attacked again, right? It's just, this is starting to really add up all the damage that BC's been able to do. And 1 sacred site decap is a lot, but I think he has enough to defend this. Scholar goes down though.
If Kiljardi strikes right now, BC's got problems because most of the Ghazi are abroad, right? But the problem is Kiljardi, he can't build a new defense force because all these houses torching. He's actually choosing to decap the sites instead of trying to scout in and find these pocket resources.
We'll see though. Looks like Beasty's pulling back his Ghazi. He wants to maybe try and take this fight that Kiljardi is forcing. This might be a bit preemptive from Kiljardi. Spears going to be trying to torch down the range on the front here.
Beasty set the trap. Ghazi halfway back. Army's about to run back into them. Small group of Ghazi. They force the Donzo to the front. Archer's starting to tick this apart. And with that extra attack speed, you can even start sniping down javelins. Kiljardi knows that he's overextended, and now he has no choice but to fight. Full surround comes in from Beasty. Ghazi to the backside of it. Donzo's already being sniped down. A loss of the army, and quite possibly a loss of the game here. Kiljardi not ready for a tech up yet. And now Beasty is going to have a very big advantage in the mid-map.
Yeah, he lost a lot of Ghazi for it, but it was a really beautiful fight for him. A little Kiljardi sandwich for him. I guess Beasty was looking for a snack, and he found one. The Scholars keeping the remaining units alive as the unit numbers dwindle to 0 for Kiljardi, and what a wipe. That's really, really rough.
This is the impression of the Delhi. You can't just sit in your base, right? Any civ that desires to do so faces this exact threat. And what I love there is, like, what makes that so valuable? A lot of people might look at that and go, that's a lot of Ghazi, KP. I mean, dude, he lost way too much there. No, destroyed value aside, even if you didn't have that statistic, remember, Donzos cost more resources than spears. Javelins cost 120 resources each. That's what makes it such a good exchange. Is what you have to realize is that this is a premium army taking on a premium army in Feudal Age. It's not like you're throwing away crap tier units to counter good units.
And there's the compound of the defender now for Beasty, so he's going to be going up pretty quickly here in the Delhi Malian matchup. I quite like it. The outpost coming down for Kiljardi. Going to try and defend.
Problem is the tech up behind, right? Like Kiljardi hasn't even triggered his yet. This is
some Vills, by the way, in those. That's not archers or anything. That's idle Vills.
Yeah, because he was playing on deer, which is never a good sign when you see Malians do this, right? Like usually the passive food's meant to be good enough. But the problem with this fight is, like, even if you try to argue that Malian's got a good trade there, the Delhi want to do this, because if you both go Castle Age, which player's upgrading his army? Malians.
No.
Delhi's not going to upgrade archers, right? They're not going to upgrade Ghazi. They just want to spam men-at-arms, and here we go.
Interesting, BC also teching into Spearmen at the same time. Find that interesting. And the archer upgrade. And some knights coming in, yeah. So not going to be upgrading the Ghazi and making crossbows besides. I mean, he has 18 archers. Might as well start the tech. Interesting. And the Sacred Sight's coming again.
That pit mine's not even built, by the way. Can we check that again? I'm pretty sure I saw a progress bar.
Yeah, it's really brutal when you see that. Like this.
Whoa. There's more brutal details, Winston. If we can just pan past that pit mine and notice the fact that at 15 minutes in Feudal Age, the Malian player's adding farms. When do you see them do this, right? When they lose.
That's not right.
What?
No, I just mean like.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, something looks like it's so out of place. The way you said that, I was like, it must be something else broken with the system. No, yeah, this is.
No, that's not a good feeling adding farms that early. I agree. Really, really rough.
Good pincher.
I guess his gold income just isn't quite there to do cattle. Or does he have them all in pastures? No, he should have one that he could be cycling. It's still more efficient than adding farms. So we'll see.
I think it's the gold issue. Like, you see, oh my god, dude, he's adding Musafadi in. And the problem is, Beasty's already read this. He's spamming archers again.
This is a big pickup for him if he can get out of here. I mean, BC's leading the army away from his trap.
No, he's leading this army towards his.
Yeah,
BC's about to hit him.
Yeah. The army might be able to escape. No. Oh no, he's going in.
Oh wait, what?
Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's
Kiljardi. Not like this. A lot of Donzos. A few men-at-arms can actually annihilate that. So quick read, quick break away there. So the Musafadi mass seems good, but like where it could be good is not in the main engagement. What he needs to do is survive BC's next attack and then use them as a raiding unit. This fight is going to be a little bit ugly. Lancers do pull him back into it. Men-at-arms are essentially tanking this all up, and it means the archers can pepper it all down. So good little trade over here for Beasty. And remember, we have essentially got Kiljardi in the plot now, right? It's a compounded defender build, which means eventually we are going to have multi-TC for Delhi.
Yeah, that tech about 1/3 of the way through right now. Eco tech's coming in, Blacksmith tech's coming in, so Beasty is not slouching on the piano build, making sure every tech is coming in. And the relics even on their way, but it looks like one gets disrupted. Beasty's already secured 2 relics, right? That's really solid. That's super good.
And still 2 sacred sites, right? So it's an insane amount of gold. It means he can just keep pumping lancers and men-at-arms. Usually you have to choose one because you add crossbows, right? But you don't add crossbows against the Malians. Not when they're still in Feudal Age.
Yeah, it doesn't do too much, right? I think he made a few and then stopped. So I think that's why he did that archer tech, especially now that the mines are showing the Mr. Fuddy. I think
Sure.
maybe he was doing that in like maybe prep for
He thought it was
Sofa
going
in
to be
case there
castle.
were,
Yeah.
or
I
just
think
Sofa, right?
yeah, but at this stage, I think he's like, oh yeah, Kiljardi's just going to follow me in tech, right? But Kiljardi's been like, no, I'm an age behind. I know it's Delhi, but like the only time to fight is now. Unfortunately, he's just not been able to find that good fight. Like Beasty has the age lead, military quantity, and quality lead.
And economic income, probably. Well,
With relative
not
safe sides,
quite.
yes. Like
Not quite. I think Kiljardi still might have a slightly better eco.
yeah, maybe the ranch is giving him a slight lead, but that's not going to last long, right? Stone's being gathered up. Compound defend almost done, and all that food income has now been idled out, probably permanently now. Those aren't fortified, and those, I believe, are still filled with villagers. Little Mustafadi are going to come in to deal with the men-at-arms wrapping around, but the damage is really being done on this right side. Villagers being lost. Kiljardi now behind by 5. Make it 10, because he's going to have to take this fight, but there's no way he's going to be able to protect these villagers with an army so pathetically small.
Yeah, that's really not a good fight for Kiljardi, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin. Those 10 villagers on Hunt have all been evaporated. And now a massive lead for Beasty in production, economy. Like you're saying, the tech is really good for him as well. And feudal age Malians just can't deal with this mess.
Well
There's
played by
no-
Beasty though, like the way he stretched left and right, Kiljardi just got bogged down. The typical way I've seen Delhi win against Malian so often. At this point, he's just kind of processing the loss. You know, Kiljardi, he'll hang around a little bit longer. I imagine he's just kind of like taking this extra time to theory craft what he wants to do for game number 2, because after this, well, I feel like it was a curveball. I feel like going Malians, he didn't expect Delhi here. He now is at a humongous disadvantage in the draft. Like Beasty, in a draft, I would have said they both got their own share of what they needed. He now has Kiljardi with the long curlies. Army's going to get wiped out. Game should get called. And it means the Delhi, as is all too typical, are going to prove dominant in competitive.
Yeah, that was really solid from Beasty. Was that enough relays? Do you think I covered it there?
Really? There you go. That's what
So
you
one
need.
really big, really. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, GG. Well played. That was spicy. Beasty making Delhi look really solid.
And Kiljardi, really not convincing now with the way that the rest of this draft goes. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here, but realistically, when we look back at the draft screen, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. English in this map pool, and I believe we might, if I remember correctly, we did get Coastal Cliffs, right? I think. No, we got Dry Arabia, and we got Dry Arabian Bridges. So
Bridges.
English aren't S tier on that map, but English are now kind of unleashed because you do not have Malians anymore. And the rest of your draft doesn't fare well against. I believe there was an Abbasid pick, and I'm hoping I'm misrecalling there wasn't a Juji pick, because if there was, you haven't got much to fall back on. And the funny thing is, like, Beasty doesn't have to throw that strong pick out now. He's going to. And okay, this is actually good for Kiljardi. No, I like honestly, the Iobid pick, reading the English coming out here is good. And the reason is that if you actually go for the Master Smiths in Feudal Age, English's aggro doesn't work. And you can still fast castle. So if there was a way that Kiljardi could get back into this series, this was probably the best draft option he had.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know though. I feel like on this map, what we've seen from this map so far is it's extremely open and exposed. I guess
It's
I'm just wondering how Ayubids can be aggressive early against English here
you
and
don't.
deal with the like. I feel like English is still going to hit that timing mid feudal, and we saw Numadon play it earlier, but I don't think BC is going to be as passive. I feel like there's going to be more opportunity for small raiding forces of longbows from Beasty. He's going to like really try to apply this pressure and just pick off the vills. Like if Kiljardi gets a map where the gold and the berries and everything are all split and really rough, this could be hard for him. I think.
Well, talking to people who are having a hard today, Vortex learned the hard way that China is on the rise. That's right. Louis of Team Elephant able to take down Vortex 2-1. I said, this boy's on the rise. What more proof do you need?
That's impressive, man. That is seriously impressive. That is really cool.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people would look at the Numedan series like fair enough, right? Like I don't think people put credence on the name of Numedan yet, but
Mhm.
Vortex is like what considered. I think most people, if they had to list like the placement at the end of this tournament, a lot of people have Vortex what top 4 probably. So really just shows you how impressive Louis is. I think the thing that has
Mhm.
really shocked me is his ability to not only play early game but late game. Right, it covers both bases. He throws these interesting curveballs in the early game that's almost reminiscent of Vortex, funnily enough. But when you get to that late game, like I was saying earlier today, it's like Beasty, right? He seems very confident in that phase. I think I even said, like Beasty's before said, Louis probably the one person that he feels could have his number in those late game phases. So yeah, I think he's 21 years old, if I remember correctly, the 21 kid. Keep an eye out for him because
It's young, yeah.
I think he could easily make playoffs. I think the last tournament, if I'm not mistaken, he made was it the round of 8? I think he made quarterfinals in. It was either quarterfinals or round of 16 in EGC finals.
I don't
The,
remember.
he made sorry, it was the round of 16. Sorry, quarterfinals. Yeah, quarterfinals, and it was a series versus Poppy Paw that went all the way to 5 games. So he was already looking tight, close with some of the top players there. Honestly,
Mhm.
man, this is my. I don't know if we can still call him a dark horse, but like I guess like he's not really in your standard top 8 or top 12 listings for a lot of people. I think Louis is the one that's gonna surprise a lot of people in this group stage.
That's exciting to see. I mean, he's already done it for me. I mean, that's a really impressive showing in the first 2 sets already. So, only good things looking up for him. And now we have to think about how Kiljardi can win this game. I'm still thinking. You're saying Master Smiths on a Ubits here? Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the way you have to address it. It's weird though because like the map might make it more hard. So maps like Himiyama as an example, I actually heavily favor the Ibids to hold. But this map, you already mentioned, is kind of like more congested. I also think like there's a very big punt element here. Is it going to be a forward spawning gold? If it's a forward spawning gold, Kiljardi's got a problem. If it's a back
Yep.
spawning gold, he could actually just sneak his way up in the castle. I don't think you can play discount Abbasids. Discount Abbasids is basically where you literally just play a worse
50C.
version of Abbasids. No. Like you milli all in, right? So you put archers and you do a
Oh,
horseman.
like that style. I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like it's the type of thing where like if you're gonna do that, you might as well pick the Abbasids. The logic is that it's a hidden strat. We'll see if he's got
Right.
something special for us though. It looks like it's time to hop into game number 2. English versus Ibis, definitely a map-specific matchup in terms of who has the edge. But when I see a spawn like this, maybe there's hope for Kiljardi yet. A few walls, and
Yeah.
he might be able to get deep enough.
Yeah, like if he can keep like the north side of his base secure, I think it could be okay. The problem I would have with his map is all of his food is forward as a Ubids. That can be really, really hard. His berries are really far forward. His hunt is really far forward. He didn't get, in previous map gens we saw like berries in the right and left berries corners. That's just completely empty here for Kiljardi. So if he loses map control at all, or if we have one of those games where English just has a massive spearman, a massive longbow in like the center of the map, like if that's the case, this is gonna get really tight for Kiljardi moving into like late feudal, right? I think that's where
Yeah.
things could get really dicey. But we have a interesting build order from Beasty here.
We do. He's trying to idle up the gold, and we have a problem for Kiljardi because he chose to opt to build the House of Wisdom ahead of like getting any sort of quick outpost up or looking to basically rush the gold instead. So I think this should be just in time for Beastie to be a little bit annoying, but it shouldn't be enough to stop Kiljardi from getting the remaining gold. In fact, it looks like with a third villager, be a-okay there. The berries are a different matter. It's going to be a little bit frustrating. I think by the way Kiljardi's playing this looks like it's going to be a growth wing build, which makes a lot of sense because you don't want to go military wing against the English.
Oh, we'll see. The gold, he can't really keep it safe, so he just has to gather enough under
What?
pressure here, right?
What? Wait, what? 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 Oh, no. No, dude, not like this.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't I swear,
Did he
the
get the
rallying
gold?
in this game.
Uh,
He got what, dude? He
okay.
just about got it.
I was going to say
201.
that didn't look like it was that didn't look like he had it there for a
Did
moment.
your heart skip a beat for a second there?
I thought he had like 190 gold and he had to send Vills back out, but yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Calculated. I mean, he probably figured it by clicking on the gold mine, right? So he knew
Yeah.
he had enough, but
And now Beastie is going to try to idle the food, I imagine, here. I mean, it won't hold there for long, but it's annoying, especially considering like now Kiljardi, if this was meant to be a fast castle build, you have to build units, right? You can't just blindly do it because the men-at-arms are here before you have the outpost. And if you don't put an outpost forward to the gold, then Lombos follow up and kill you. So really smart opening by Beasty. I actually appreciate what he's done here. It didn't feel like the best spawn for it, but he found the timing.
I mean, denying that gold income is going to be massive here for whatever humans are trying to do early feudal, right?
Probably Growth Wing. If we check the House
I
Wisdom,
think
it should be Growth.
definitely growth because he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell if someone's going Growth Wing usually by the way they play berries. At the highest level, they understand this now. Kiljardi started to read this. Many players have actually been kind of slipping up and exhausting the berries before the tech up completes, but nice to see that Kiljardi's optimizing around it. You lose a little bit more food efficiency in the early game, but you guarantee an extra 300 food as a result.
Yeah. It's really solid if you can get it. So interesting. I mean, really fast timing for Kiljardi here, right? He got what he needed, right? The man-at-arms didn't really slow him down. And there's another one on the southern gold, so Beasty really trying to make sure that the gold doesn't come in early.
Yeah, so one big reason here, and this is why, like I was saying, Master Smiths is usually the go-to choice, and I think you're going to now learn why this is very awkward for the Ibids. You don't have any blacksmith techs as long as these guys camp your gold. You don't have any option to get blacksmith techs. Meanwhile, the English, you have nothing, right? So, like, the reason why you go Master Smiths typically here is, it's interesting actually, like Master Smiths in Feudal Age is the only point in the game where it's worthwhile because you basically get returned 700 resources in techs, right? For 600 resources. But it also guarantees that the first fight with the Lombos isn't a bad one because if you spam archers and you've got +1 on defense and attack, you actually out DPS archers, right? And if you think about it, in the Ibid position, the one thing that Kiljardi can get is wood.
Those vills are just looking at the tree. Okay, no, I was like,
wait, what?
how long are this going to be idle for? But I was just so mesmerized by their pickaxes.
When you send the sheep herder to be a lumberjack, he's like, I haven't trained for this my whole life. What do I do with this? Do you want me to milk the tree? How does that work?
a crook. What does this do?
I'm just now picturing an English villager there.
It. Yeah.
He's like, that doesn't work. What else have I got? Pulls out his short bow, starts shooting the tree.
Oh man, you just hear the thonk when you clonk a sheep over the head. Yeah. I mean, this has got to be really annoying for Kiljardi. I wonder if his prep had any sort of like anticipation for this. I know that don't they practice together a decent amount?
They do practice together a decent amount, and also here's the other thing: if there's any player in this entire tournament that should have anticipated a men-at-arms opening as a potential option, it's Kiljardi. Kiljardi has really improved as a player in the last year. But before that, he had a bit of a reputation as a meme stone. What I mean by that is he literally always picked English and Dark Age men-at-arms rush you. Like, he became infamous for it. So the irony, the actual irony of in a tournament, it being used against him is not lost on me.
Beasty pulling out the poetic irony, I guess.
It's like, for all the players you've done this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's that blacksmith. So good news is Kiljardi got access to gold again. Bad news is he's spending a lot of resources into horsemen. That's a premium unit by cost at least. So it's kind of awkward to now afford quick blacksmith techs.
Yeah, that might be a bit tricky here. BC already has the barracks though. He scouted that happening, so he has the spearmen already on the field. So I'm not seeing the window here for Kiljardi. He's got 3 archers and 2 horsemen forward. He's spotting that the gold for Beasty is perfectly placed in the back, so that's not really going to be something to pressure, and the English are just content to sit under their TC with the rest of their economy for now. Maybe he can find some damage on that wood line, but that's where Beasty's camping with his army, so it's going to be tricky, I think, for Kiljardi to do any sort of, like, retaliation at this stage. Although, to be fair, he didn't really lose too much. He lost a bit of HP on the vills, which could matter with the longbows later. But
it's all about the blacksmith timings for me. Like that is how that's how you decide this matchup. Genuinely, like if the English get an edge, if they get a +1, you don't have undermesh. Even your horsemen die really fast, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beasty's adding in farms pretty early, but that's to be expected here. If you look at the deer spawns, they're way too aggressive. You can't play onto them. Love the little wall around the back of the tree line by Beasty, by the way. That's actually insulated them against 360 rotations. You've all experienced that awkward situation where horsemen move left and right in a tree line, and you're just like dancing and getting frustrated, right? And the spearmen are never quick enough. So this takes that option away from Kiljardi.
Yeah, I think it was really smart play there, that wall. But we'll see. Oh, the man at arms still getting value. Because he had one on the north, one on the south, right? The other one
Yeah.
got cleaned up. But this guy's just been hanging out. And
Army's
he's going to
moving.
meet up with the army. The outpost is coming in. So BC's thinking he's got enough units to apply pressure.
This was a bit early. But then again, Kiljardi's being greedy, right? Like, look at his resources. He stopped production. Oh my god, dude. The wrap around the back. Kiljardi may have mistimed this. Move on to his gold. Funnily enough, Beasty's hesitant, right? He doesn't have the gold vision we do. He does see some troops stabbing at the back. He doesn't know yet that Kiljardi's wrapped all the way around the back to the gold.
Yeah, potentially do 3 Vil kills on the gold. Maybe, probably 2. Ideally, if BC's quick with this response, it'll only be 1. But the problem here is that Beasty's getting the position he wants. So I don't know if Vil picks are what you need in Kiljardi's position, right?
Here we go. Beasty, quick reactions. We'll lose 1, make it possibly 2. But that should have been 3 easy peasy. So keeps the majority alive.
Yeah, and there's a bit of pressure in the back of the base, but now what? Like, now Kiljardi's army's here, and like you said, there's a wall preventing the wraparound, and longbows are going to be much more threatening in the economy of a Ubids here. The woodline going to be actually under threat here.
Oof.
The Vil, low HP from before, instantly dies.
Steel arrow also on the way. Dive into the wood line. A quick reaction coming out from the limited spears and longbows. Remember that TC hit so bloody hard. Kiljardi now is over macroing. He's had a bit too much food. He's got to figure out what he wants to do with it. Options kind of limited, right? Like, you already used Growth Wing. You don't want to go Advancement Wing when you stockpile. It's going to be the level 2 Master Smith. So here we go. Could this be the big brain? It's going to allow him to quickly go into Undermesh level 1 and immediately have level 2 ranged armor versus a feudal longbow army.
Yeah, I don't think BC's prepared for this Castle Age timing to come in, although he did scout how many Vils were on gold. I think he probably has to assume that was why there are so many Vils on gold, was for that age up.
But he doesn't know what age. Like, so, okay, so
He doesn't know what. Yeah, that's the flexibility.
Yeah, I like
that you
hate
get, right?
Master Smiths at this stage, but hear me out. One thing that could be good about it, BC probably scouted out that it was Growth Wing, so he knows he's up against Growth. Like, Growth Wing's already gone, right? He knows with the amount of like gathering going on there, Advancement Wing doesn't quite make sense. But he's not going to expect Master Smiths. He's probably expecting logistics. So Beasty might split his troops up between the relics, and that will give an opportunity for Horsemen to pick you. It's quite the gamble, though. Like, right, like the amount of you know when you're like too big brain that you're actually small brain. It's that kind of feeling where it's like, oh, he's gonna read this perfectly, know every piece of info. He doesn't. He can't guarantee what tech up it is, and Master Smiths might seem like a curveball. But I can't be convinced by it, man. Like, I think it's feudal or no.
Well, he's added a second stable, so Kiljardi wants to go Camel Lancers. And when that comes
With
in...
what? With what gold?
That's what I mean. Like, he's only going to be able to produce 3, right? Unless he gets this gold back, which it looks like he's about to.
So
this
it's
is
like...
really tricky.
So I mean, usually you say, like, the 3 Musketeers. What would you say here? Like, what's the camel equivalent?
The 3 camel tiers.
The 3 Humpers?
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is a
What
PG-friendly stream.
Camels have humps. What are you on about? What were you thinking of?
Panic. No, yeah, no, we're good.
All right, so 2
interesting.
Lancers. A lot of spears, though. And remember,
There's a lot
wherever
of
he
spears.
fights now, he has the Outpost aura.
Yeah. Like, Beasty got what he wanted, I feel like, this game. And the agent might be a bit tricky to deal with initially. But I don't know how much Beasties cares if he just all-ins. I think that's what he's aiming for, right? He's just going to stay all-in here. If he just pushes this player off gold, if Kiljardi can't get gold, the situation gets really dire for him. And this is a lot more Vils on the wood line. Oh, boy. Beasty could just shoot.
And
One goes
scores! Sorry, I thought that was what we were going for there.
No, but he does shoot. Oh,
Dude,
this
that's
is
a
really
lot.
punishing damage.
Okay, so the solution for Kiljardi, that's
Wait.
like, that's half of his army, like, this lost half its health, right? So, like...
He went Desert Raiders.
No, he didn't. There's a cat. What? No, those are Lancers.
Huh?
You okay, Winston?
I'm going crazy.
Calm down. All right. Deep breath.
Oh, he
and pray
hasn't
for
gotten the
Kiljardi.
years.
Hmm?
He got no value for Master Smiths because he hasn't gotten the previous upgrades.
Oh, for God's sake. Dude, why does it work this way? I can't with this.
Wait, what happened here?
Because
Are
it
you sure he
requires
didn't go Desert Raiders?
No, he went Master Smiths. We watched him go Master Smiths.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. So he just like,
But you need to get
I know he
Undermesh
does.
to
I
get
know.
it
It's just
first.
yeah, he needs to get Undermesh to get the next one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And
that,
it's
that was
so dumb.
this is so slow because he has no gold income. Oh, this is so tragic.
Oh my
It took me a minute to realize. I was like, why is there only 4 armor? Like, surely
Okay.
this must be Desert Raiders. Right? Like,
And this is another reason why you don't do Master Smiths and Castle, you do it in Feudal, right? Because like now, like to get the level 2 benefit for any of these techs, you have to get the first level. With
Why do
no
I feel like-
gold!
well, he can go back to the gold in the north now. This game. This game is ridiculous. Oh,
Master
man.
Smiths is ridiculous, but okay. So I'm just gonna bluntly say I don't know why you need to build a blacksmith to get it. Like that's another thing for me. Like Master Smiths, this is like the only civ it has some value against, and it's like even then because you have to spend 150 wood in the early game if you go for a feudal age.
There we go.
Like it just doesn't make sense. But there we go. We've got the +2. It took a long time.
It took a minute. It took a minute, and there's still an English army in his base.
Which he has to
How many
ignore.
times have we seen the longbows walk this exact route? And now
what
he's
point-
threatening the gold again.
Like,
and the
at what-
gold bills walk this way again. I have freaking deja vu right now. What is happening? Wait, this time.
Wait, does he
stuck
see?
a couple
Does he
bills
the
to the
deer?
north.
Does he
Did
see
he
the
see
deer?
that? I think he
Oh
saw
my
that.
god, I think he did. He had the outpost
Oh.
that got burnt down, but the deer. I think the scout saw this. He's gonna move up. Oh no.
Oh.
Kiljardi, he's busy diving right now. He's distracted. Beasty's going to pull back, and it means all the villagers are here cut down here. Oh, no. Terrible trade. Kiljardi. So much for that eco lead.
Well, he's getting decent picks on the back end of this. He's diving the TC onto the wood line. Decent damage there for Kiljardi, but the spearmen are going to be there to defend. But yeah, no, losing a lot of ills on that hunt is not where you want to be. And there's another army on his gold.
It's just everywhere. The problem is, like, at this pacing, because of how long it's taking Kiljardi to get any units out, Beasty, if he keeps doing this, he's going to have enough troops to split between the 2 golds. Then what do you
Yeah.
do, right? Like, it's such an annoying game. Like, this is the type of game that anyone's who's just chilling, they're like your standard, like, you know, they're your average rank player. Maybe they're like a gold or they're plow, they're bronze, whatever you are, right? This is the type of game that they look at and then they go on Reddit and type English or OP, right? Like, this is that classic example of why do Lombos win? Because he has no gold.
Oh no! And
We've been here
villagers
before,
under
right?
pressure.
I think we've been here before.
Oh my gosh! I'm thinking of the song "Stuck in the Middle with You," you know, stuck with no woodlands because you are everywhere. This really sucks if you're in BC, if you're in Kiljardi's position. He has no food, no gold, no stone. He's got wood income occasionally. Like
His
This
premium
is-
unit also gets countered by a feudal age unit, right? Like that's the thing. Like Gulums are kind of slow and it's annoying against mass Lombos, but at least you wouldn't have a unit that counters you. This is at least a good fight. I mean, big pog for Kiljardi. If you want to now get negative about it, don't look at his food income. Oh god, the spears are there as well.
oh no!
No, the villagers this time is
We're
going to
back.
lose a few as
We're
well.
back to this.
This is such a tilting game. Kiljardi. I don't think I've ever seen an Iron player look this gold-starved.
No wheelbarrow, bro. The bills are so slow.
Just coming from-
What do you take? No wheelbarrow, no textiles. Only walking, no working. Mista would be having a heart attack if he were playing this.
I mean, Mista would be playing the English in this situation. He loves that civ, but Kiljardi,
Oh my god.
this is over, dude. He has more military than he has eco, and it's not because his army is big. It's because he has nothing left.
Not because of the big army, I can tell you that much. Kiljardi, though, bravely playing on into this game, trying not to. This is rough. This is really rough. I think he's got this though.
Kiljardi's
He
like,
wants his-
I can't win, but if I exhaust Beasty here, maybe someone will beat him in a series later today. And that point difference will be why I make it out of the group stage. Brain is just expanding. Okay, this is like getting reminiscent of, you know, when you watch one of those players that like they completely lose the game, but they're like, not until the landmarks are dead, brother. It's got that look written all over it right now.
Oh,
Sure, why not?
Why not? Why not? I mean, this is literally the 2020, sorry, the 2000 equivalent in AoE2 of hiding a Vil. Like,
Yeah, yep.
he's literally griefing by staying in this game. It's
Kiljardi's
okay.
like, but I have this special operations group of archers. They'll win the game. They are war veterans. They literally have veteran in their name, Winston. How could you doubt them? This is without wheelbarrows.
It's still no wheelbarrow. No gold.
He doesn't even have enough food to build more villages yet. Okay, there we go. Got a drop off. And now they're going to flop off the face of the earth. He's now down. He's down to starting villages 20 minutes into the game.
His army is still bigger than his eco.
Spec Ops unite. I just.
Uh-oh.
Do you think
Calm
like
down.
at this stage? I think there's a positive here, right? When your whole population is this small, you actually have enough time to name each one of your people and remember them.
Is this legal? Like, is this allowed in the tournament? Like,
It's his game to play, so let's go through
it's
it.
his
So
game to play. Okay,
so,
fair.
So
fair,
that's Jonathan, Ricky, Tom, Bill, Jason, and Ricardo, and then over here we've got. Give him a name. Come on, it's your turn. Allison. We've got
Rudolph.
Ricardo the first, Ricardo the second, Ricardo the third. Oh, there goes Johnny Tom. He's dead. Yep. Okay.
Jason and Rudolph and the reindeers.
We'd have funerals. We'd have funerals for them, but there's not enough people left to bury them. GG.
Oh man, I felt like you know how the voice actor for the Bassetville, like went all out. That was just in my head, like slow. It's a slow burn of that was in my head for the last like 5 minutes of that game. Why did we have to play that out?
You know the happy, the happy R they do when they get the tech up. That was them when they finally got the undermesh level 2, and then just immediately it was just death cries afterwards. That was.
Okay, so to focus though on the actual part of the game that mattered, which was the first 8 minutes, the man-at-arm opening was a little bit oppressive. It slowed stuff down, and it wasn't able to. Kiljardi was not able to get like wheelbarrow early or any eco techs, or like you were saying, very importantly, the blacksmith techs. And that gold starvation just stuck around. Like Beasty was able to keep him off, and even though Kiljardi got a bunch of like decent raids around the side and tried to deal damage in retaliation, he never got his gold sorted. And then he went Mastersmiths. He went Mastersmiths without having a single blacksmith upgrade, so it gave him no value. I wonder if maybe there could have been a game plan there that would have been different than Mastersmiths that could have saved that game when you're out of gold. And I'm not really seeing it. Maybe Desert Raider production, but like that doesn't really help you in that game, right? Like you only want to do those when there's Cav. So yeah, I don't know what you do.
I would
You
have
don't
rather
let the power go down, right?
I would have rather seen him get industry wing in that game. That's how I felt about that game. I honestly wonder if he just forgot, because a lot of people forget about Mastersmiths. I've literally watched players win against Iberds with English and forget to like even get the Mastersmiths by dropping a blacksmith. Because like, first you have to remember to build a blacksmith. Second, as we just saw, you have to remember to actually research the level 1 techs, which a game where you have no gold is a problem. I think like Iberds' best solution there genuinely is to get Mastersmith's Feudal Age. It makes it very difficult for you to snipe anything. It also makes it feasible for you to play a little bit of feudal play up against your opponent. And the timings are what matter, right? Because with the extra food you gather from berries, there's a window where you can actually push more aggressively and shut down the longbows. But you know, even if you want to go fast castle, once again, just having blacksmiths, Mastersmiths there, right? And then you get growth wing afterwards. That's 8 villages. That would have been fantastic for him there, Winston. If you think about the end of that game, 8 extra villages would have been over double his economy. It's crazy for him in that game. But
Crazy.
I think the best thing for everyone involved is we just focus on a new Iberds game and we bleach that one from our minds.